Sultan Haytham bin Tariq confers an Nu'man order first class on His Excellency the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at the end of his mission in the Sultanate. The COVID-19 Supreme Committee decides to extend the closure of the Sultanate's land borders for one more week. The Sultanate receives 100,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine against coronavirus COVID-19 from India. An Oman Investment Authority restructures its tourism and real estate investments in the Sultanate by redeploying them to Umran Group. And now live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, here we present to you the details of this news bulletin. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of condolences to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, on the death of His Royal Highness Prince Turki bin Nasser bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. His Majesty the Sultan received a cabal of thanks from His Excellency Guy Parmelin, President of the Swiss Confederation, in reply to His Majesty's greetings cables on the occasion of electing him as President for his country. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq conferred an Nu'man order first class on His Excellency Eid bin Mohammed Al-Thaqafi, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, at the end of his mission in the Sultanate, as an appreciation of his good efforts in serving the relations binding the two brotherly countries. The order was handed over by His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, when he received the ambassador at his office this morning. Based on the recommendations of the technical team charged with following up the development of coronavirus pandemic COVID-19 developments of the new strains of the virus and its dangers on the regional and international level, and in order to protect the society members from it, the COVID-19 Supreme Committee decided to extend the closure of all land borders for one more week, ending at 6 p.m. Monday, the 8th of February 2021. The Sultanate received 100,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine against coronavirus COVID-19 provided by the Republic of India. More detail in the following report. At the Minister of Health headquarters, a special event was held this morning where His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi received from His Excellency Munu Mahawar, Ambassador of the Republic of India, a gift of 100,000 made in India COVID-19 vaccine. Speaking at the event, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed welcomed the Government of India's gesture to gift 100,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine and commended the cooperation between both the countries. He lauded India's leading role in the global fight against COVID-19 and the support that India has been extending to its friends and partners in their efforts. On his side, Ambassador highlighted the strong cooperation between both countries in the wake of COVID-19 and stated India has always shouldering global responsibility at times of crisis and is a dependable and reliable friend of Oman. Ambassador also thanked His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and the government of Oman for taking good care of Indian nationals during the pandemic. The delivery of vaccine is another landmark in the strong bilateral cooperation between both the countries. The COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated the resilience of Indian-Omani strategic partnership as close engagement and cooperation have continued between both the countries in addressing the urgent matters related to the pandemic.
It was a great pleasure to receive His Excellency the Indian Ambassador, the Minister of Health today. who delivered 100,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is a gift from the friendly government of India and the people of India to the Sultanate of Oman. This vaccine is well known internationally by either Oxford vaccine or AstraZeneca, but the right of production was given to the Indian Serum Institute, which is the largest institute in the capacity-wise in production of the vaccine. This is the second type of vaccine we received in Oman. The first one was Pfizer, which we vaccinated over 28,000 so far. This is another addition to combat this virus. And these 100,000 doses will vaccinate 50,000 people, the same as Pfizer. Each person will require 2 doses in time interval of about 4 weeks. I need to remind everybody that no country can vaccinate all its population timely. Therefore, if we want to protect ourselves and the one we love and our community and the world, actually, we need to continue doing the right thing. Unfortunately, it saddens me to see people abandoning now the wear of the mask, the gathering in big numbers, the also not keeping the physical distance. The Supreme Committee is continuously meeting and assessing the situation locally, regionally, and internationally. The last meeting, we took some measures, and unfortunately, we might be forced to take further measures if people do not apply and listen and do what's being recommended, not just for the sake of recommendation. These are scientifically based. This is the best protection we have at the moment. The vaccine, again, to go back to reassure those who received the first dose of Pfizer vaccine, there has been a delay in delivery from Pfizer internationally, not only to Oman, but they will receive the second dose before the middle, hopefully, of February, and there is no negative effect on the efficacy of the vaccine by this delay.
India and Oman enjoy a strategic partnership. Our relationship goes back to several thousand years, and we attach the highest priority to our relations with Oman. Therefore, in keeping with this special relationship, our two countries have been working very closely to combat the challenges that have emanated from this pandemic. As I mentioned, we have worked to address the movement of persons, availability of essential supplies, and now supply of vaccine is a new landmark in our cooperation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has committed that India's vaccine capacities will be made available for the entire humanity, and this is in line with that. It reflects the deep relationship that our two countries have. Of course, India is the largest producer of vaccine, and we also have excellent R&D capabilities. Apart from this vaccine, we have already authorized one more vaccine which is produced entirely, developed and produced in India by Bharat Biotech. So in the coming days, we will continue working very closely with the Sultanate of Oman to address the challenges emanating from the pandemic.
Those were His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, and His Excellency Munu Mahawar, Ambassador of India to the Sultanate. The Ministry of Health announced that the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in the Sultanate reached 134,326, while the total number of deaths reached 1,529. The total recovered cases reached 126,854, which is 94.4% of the total recovery rate. The ministry indicated that the total number of inpatients during 24 hours reached 102, of which 27 are in intensive care units. Oman Investment Authority announced that it will restructure its tourism and real estate investments in the Sultanate by redeploying them to Oman Tourism Development Company, Omran Group, which is affiliated to the authority. Yiti project, located in Muscat Governorate, Alila Hino Hotel in the Wilaya of Mirbat in Dhofar Governorate, as well as the Breeze Hotel in Al Jabal Al Akhdar in Al Dakhiliya Governorate, all have been transferred to Omran Group. Oman Investments Authority Authority has also transferred to Oman Group its shares of Asas company and the Integrated Tourism Complex project, Sharq district, which foreigners are allowed to own freehold in it. This move aims to unify tourism real estate investments under one management and in line with Oman's Future Vision 2040 and the goals of the 10th five-year plan. Oman Liquefied Natural Gas Company signed an agreement to develop and update main control system on the production plant. The company, through this project, aims to upgrade the control systems after 20 years of operation in order to make production processes more efficient and credible at its plant in the Wilaya of Sur. The project enjoys the highest safety and cybersecurity standards in order to protect the establishments from any possible threat. It's expected that the project will be completed by the end of 2023. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and yet to come in our news bulletin. A Jordanian artist turns a cafe into portraits. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The International Whaling Commission praised the Environment Authority and the exerted efforts by the Sultanate in rescuing a stray humpback whale from a net in the Duqm port. It valued those great efforts and expressed that whales in the Arabian Sea are unique as they spend all their lifetime in the same territory, and these types of whales are also within the 5 endangered categories. The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investments Promotion issued the executive regulations for the law on protection of competition and prevention of monopoly. This comes with the aim of organizing the freedom of practicing economic activity and establishing the principle of market rules and freedom of prices. The number of licenses provided by the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investments Promotion last year reached 15 to establish Omani closed joint stock companies with a capital of more than 20 million Omani riyals. The ministry pointed out that the number of Omani closed joint stock companies by the end of 2020 reached 395. An electronic platform was also inaugurated for those contributing in the companies, as it also saves time and efforts for the investors from inside and outside the Sultanate of Oman. International news. An Israeli soldier today shot dead a Palestinian suspected of attempting an attack on the troops in the West Bank. The Israeli army said that an armed assailant with 3 knives connected to a stick attempted to attack soldiers at a West Bank junction south of Bethlehem. No soldiers were hurt. The military confirmed the suspected attacker was killed. The military shared a photo of the alleged weapon, what appeared to be a cluster of knives taped to broom handle. Israel has seen a series of shootings, stabbing and car ramming attacks in recent years, mostly carried out by lone Palestinian attackers in the West Bank with no apparent links to armed groups. Last week, a soldier shot and killed a 17-year-old Palestinian who allegedly attacked troops with a knife in the northern West Bank. And now here is the story of the World Health Organization. A World Health Organization team looking into the origins of the coronavirus pandemic today visited the food market in the Chinese city of Wuhan that was linked to many early infections. The team members visited the Hunan seafood market for about an hour in the afternoon. The market was the site of a December 2019 outbreak of the virus. Scientists initially suspected the virus came from wild animals sold in the market. The market has since been largely ruled out, but it could provide hints to how the virus spread so widely. Earlier in the day, the team members visited Baishanzhu Market, one of the largest wet markets in Wuhan, surrounded by a large entourage of Chinese officials and representatives. The market was the food distribution center for Wuhan during the city's 76-day lockdown last year. The members with expertise in veterinary medicines, virology, food safety and epidemiology have so far visited 2 hospitals at the center of the early outbreak. Ahmed Al-Quran's passion is to create portraits made of coffee on plates and coffee sets. The Jordanian artist inks his coffee, creating miniature portraits and paintings. It takes him 4 to 8 hours to finish a painting, while drawing with coffee is known in different countries in the world. The artist's challenge is working on a very small surface. What makes this art special is that it's drawing a portrait on the surface of 1 centimeter only, or even less. Sometimes it's just a few millimeters. Al-Quran uses the tendon of the oud or violin to create his drawing tools. It helps him paint the small portraits once the work has dried. There adds preservatives to conserve the art. Al-Quran, an established artist, displays his work and sells it on social media and in exhibitions. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq confers a Nu'man Order First Class on His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, at the end of his mission in the Sultanate. The COVID-19 Supreme Committee decides to extend the closure of the Sultanate's land borders for 1 more week. Sultanate receives 100,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine against coronavirus COVID-19 from the friendly country of India. An Oman Investment Authority restructures its tourism and real estate investments in the Sultanate by redeploying them to Umran Group. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin, brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From me and the entire news team, we thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening and good night.